Hello, fam. It's Comfort Beach Ambition. Today, I'm back with some more offerings on how to integrate how to integrate MTN mobile money payments to your Python application. That could be your Django, Flask, or whatever, anything that uses Python. Some days back, I created, there was this an SDK for Python which interacts with MTN mobile money APIs either in sandbox or in production. We're going to be using the tutorials from my GitHub repo so that we catch up with our today's session. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the subscription key from my MTN develop account. So what I need to do here is I need to type in momdeveloper.mtn.com. So I'll leave the link in description in case if you have some issues accessing it. So I'm going to click on sign in. Yeah, so with me I already have an account. So if you don't have an account, please click on sign up. And if you already have one like me, so you need to just to type in your credentials. So my email is comfort beta mesh, and then I type in my password, which I don't have to disclose to anyone, and then I'm going to click on sign in. Yeah, so what's the issue? Wrong password. All right, I think I got this. Yeah, so when it signs you up, it's going to show your name here. So what I need to do next is to click on products. I need to click on products, and then I click on collections, which is on the number two or on the list. Yeah, this is the number two on the list. So now I click on subscribe. Please make sure that you subscribe to the collect one. So I'll be subscribing to collection. So subscribe. All right. So make sure that you read the terms and conditions, yeah, including the description. So now I'm going to click on confirm. As for me, I've already done that. So I confirm. All right. So you're going to have this, the primary and the secondary key. Yeah, so we are going to be using these details to interact with with MTN. So what I'm going to do next here is I'm going to go to my GitHub repo, of which I'm going to leave the link in the description for easy accessibility here. Uh yeah, let's get started. So we wait for it loads. All right, so this is it. So what I'm going to do before I start reading through the docs, I'm going to download the same thing. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, so here it is. After it downloads, you click on show in folder if you're using Chrome or anything similar to Chrome. So where is that? Here it is. Yeah, so here it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to and paste it into Momo developer. So I'm going to paste it here, and then the next thing I'm going to do is to extract it after I download it. So I get rid of this GitHub readme. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this whole folder in Visual Studio Code. This is what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, sure. So we go back to the documentations. So we go to GitHub. So here is the description of it as I described. So open pay.py and update these values. So we need to update this collection sub key with this subscript with this primary key. So collection sub key, we need to replace it with our primary key. So now we go back to our MTN developer portal, we click on show for primary, and then what you're going to do next is to copy this, and then we're going to replace it with the collection sub key. The collection sub key. Cool. We good. All right. So this is it. I'm sure we are done and we have configured our SDK. So what I'm going to do next here is I'm going to create another file, and then this file I'm going to be I'm going to call it main.py, main.python, and then we see what I wrote on the next line here. So what is it showing us? So collection, for disbursement. So this one is for disbursement, disbursement sub key. Yeah. So we also need to subscribe to disbursement. Yeah, to disbursements, even though it has limited access when we're in sandbox. Yeah, so we're going to subscribe to disbursement, and then I click on subscribe under disbursement. Sure. And then we do the same thing, we confirm. All right, so now we have collections and disbursement. So this is for disbursement here, I can see. So we're going to steal this primary key and paste it into pay.py disbursement. Cool. Now, and now we are ready to go. So we're going to show. So here it is. Okay, so only for users in production, update collections. Yeah, sure. Yeah, only for users in production, update collections, API user. But as for us, all right. So the thing is like this. So when you're in production, uh, these details, API user and API corrections, they're automatically generated. And like in Sandbox, yeah, but we just have to generate them manually from our side. So we are in Sandbox, so we just need to put application mode sandbox. So we go to pay. Make sure that your application mode is in sandbox. So if you want to go live, you just have to type in maybe if it's MTN Zambia. If, as for us, when we are live, it's MTN Zambia. For you guys from the other countries, I'm sure you're able to see this from your partner port. But since as for us, since we are in testing mode, the sandbox one. So we are done for pay.py. We can close it if we want. Now let's start dealing with main.py. So we are going to be using this main.py to interact with pay.py, and then this pay.py to be sending requests to the MTN port. So let's get started. So calling request to pay. So what does this mean? When you're trying to request for a payment from your customer or your client, you can simply call this from the pay from pay import pay class, and then we're going to call these functions. So let's get started. So I'm going to copy this the way it is. So here as it is saying, so to return to return the reference UID, print out this. What does this mean? So in case if you want to if we want it to return the reference ID so that you can use it to check the transaction, we can use it to check the transaction. We can just simply pass in ref, which simply stands for the reference. So let's copy this. We go to the code. Talking is cheap, as I always say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to update this value. So let's say 50 currency. Please take note of this. Whenever you're in testing mode with MTN, you need to make sure that the currency is euro. EUR, yeah, for testing purposes. So only euro works in the testing mode, and then the TXT reference, I'm going to say 1234 test 99. The phone number, yeah, I'm going to type in my mobile phone number. So I'm going to say 0968793843, and then pair message, that message which prompts together with an approval message. So with a prompt message. So I'm going to say what am I going to say? I'm going to say pay. I'm going to say pay for, no, let me say donate for it. Donate for it. Yeah, just yeah, donate for it. So if the response is 202, it means it was a success. So what does this mean? So okay, all right. So now let's send the request. So I forgot to mention one thing before. If you're using Microsoft Visual Studio Code, make sure that you install Python and you already have a Python extension installed and enabled. So uh, as for me, I already have a Python extension configured and I have Python already installed. Yeah, on my Linux. You can use this on any operating system. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'm going to send the request now. So I'm going to say run Python file. What is happening? So here it is. All right, so I slowed in. We're going to be getting. So the response is 400. So what does 400 mean? What does 400 mean? So pay class, bra 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 bra. All right, all right. So let's find. All right, fam. So the issue is found. The reason why it was bringing 400 there, it is because we did not follow the procedure. So here on the here on the reference, you don't need to add, you don't need to leave out any space. Yeah, you don't have to leave out any space, I can say. You don't have to leave out any space. So we need to get rid of this space. So I'm going to get rid of it. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to resend it. Yeah, so yeah, it's logged in. It's logged in until it brings 202. Yeah, so 202 or 200 means success. So, this was a success. So, let's have a look at some other things here, guys. So, our request to pay was a success. So, and to return the status code, you need to. All right. So, what if we would like to return the reference? So, if you would like to return the reference, what you have to do here is, to get rid of this, and so or maybe we can add both of them. So when it returns the response, and then it also brings the UUID. All right. Let's wait. All right, so we good. So it even brings the reference. So we can now use this reference to track the transaction. So I'm going to take a note of this. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy it. And then here we have another thing which we are calling transaction verification. Yeah, so we are calling it transaction verification. Yeah, so we have another thing we are calling verify and check transaction. So checking the transaction is used to verify if the customer has confirmed the payment or not. Here's the calling for transaction. So let's assume that uh, let's assume that the request for what's this for calling to pay, it has been pushed, but we don't know if the person to let's if we don't know if that customer to which that payment was pushed to pay managed to pay or did or canceled the transaction. We don't know that. So that's the reason why we need verify and check transaction status before we do any database changes. Yeah, before we do any database changes. So I'm going to I'm going to create another oh sorry, maybe let me use the same one. Oh no, let me just create another one. So I'm going to oh no problem. So I'm going to say check verification. I'm going to call it check verification.py, check verification, and then I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to copy paste this. Yeah. So we have verified the transaction. Verify. Okay. Maybe we are on this. We are on this. So status 200 or 202 means okay when the transaction is successful. It returns something like this. So here so what we are going to do is we are going to push a payment, and then we are going to get this reference which will be returned when we add reference on our dictionary here, our Python dictionary. Cool. Yeah, so here it is. We have this. So I'm going to put this as a parameter. I'm going to put this as a parameter over here. So I get rid of this. I also eliminate this so that we see clearly. So on this other file, which is check verification.py, I'm going to verify that transaction if it was a success. If it was a success, it's logged in. All right. That's how we get it. Oh, I need to print out something. Yeah, I need to print out. So here it is. So what do I need to do? So we check from pay and then verification. Let's see what you're supposed to return here. Verify Momo, verify Momo. Yeah, so we just have to print out this. So we're going to say print. We're going to say print this verify thing. So now we're going to be printing out the response. Yeah, so let's see what you're going to get. I've pushed it. Oh, resource not found. Resource not found. All right, so let's do it one more bit. So I'm going to push it. Oh, I see the problem. So here we need to start with the country code. So 260. We need to include the country code. So 260. Yeah, we need to start with the country code. 246 8 246 810. So now let's try to verify the transaction. Oh no, so let's try to verify the transaction once again. Okay, so I copy, check verification, I paste it here, and then I send the request in VS Code. So let's see what it's going to bring for us as we wait. So resource not found. So let's try to check where the problem is. Yeah, let's try to check where the. All right, fam. So the solution is found here. All right. So I was thinking maybe if I just make it like in a single file. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this whole thing and I'm going to put it in many.py. So we're going to get rid of this so that you only remain with only a single file. So I also get rid of this. So what I'll be doing here is uh, what I'll be doing here is when this request is pushed and then we are going to be verifying, we are going to be getting that transaction reference. So what I'm going to do here is according to our documentation here. Uh, Documentation says that if we want to return the reference of that transaction, we need to that variable which we assign to, and then we pass in the ref. Yeah. So so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of this custom thing, so it will be automatic. So when this one is called, what we're going to do here, this one will get executed, and then we get the reference. So this one it will be returning the. So this one, when this one runs, uh, we get the reference, and then we print the status of it. So let's go. I've clicked on run. Wait for it. Sure. So it's loading. Yeah, that was too fast. Let's redo it. All right. So I think this is what we wanted. So when it returns something like this, it means it was a success. So so let's do a bit of some if statement over here. If let's say copy, if copy response response is equals to 200, or it is equals to 202. So when it is equals to 200 or 202, then it should return us this. Return us this. Yeah. So else it should return. Else it should print. It should bring else print. Uh, there was there was a problem. There was a problem of making a transaction. Yeah, so there was a problem. So what does this mean? If the request to pay is sent successfully, which means it could either be 200 or sorry, it could either be 200 or 2 202. Yeah, so when it's any of these, and then we are going to get the details of that transaction, else we are going to get there was a problem doing a transaction. So I get rid of this, we do it, we verify the transaction. Cool, so it's loading over here. Yeah, let's see. All right, so we good. So here we have, this is what you have: financial transaction ID, external ID OG44, amount 501 as we entered, currency euro, a pair details, MSI party ID, my phone number, pair message, the message is donate, and then pay note status successful. So let's say now would like to get only the status of this. So let's say cool. If you want, you can end from here on these collections, but I just want to go deeper so that I show you how you can update towards this the database now. So I'm going to say if uh if if verify if verify ref, and then from that reference, what do I want to get? So financial ID. So we have the first section, financial ID, brab brab brab, OG amount, and then here we have uh party type. Yeah, so let's say I want to get the status. So status, before I do that, let me print out only the status of this, print out the reference, and then the status of the transaction. Yeah, so I'm getting from the JSON transaction. I just want to show you how it's done. Yeah, so uh oh, where am I going? Where am I doing it wrong? Let's see. Oh damn. Sorry. I see. So I was supposed to uh pass in the status over here. Status. So let's see what we're going to get over here. Alright. Yeah, so the status is successful. So we have managed to get things from the dictionary one by one. So we can pass another statement to say if if the status, if the status is equals to success, then print uh, database. Let's say uh, uh, let's say thank you for buying for buying this item. Else, if it was failed, they're going to say print. They're going to say cannot buy this item. Yeah, cannot buy this item. As simple as that. So now let's try to run it. Cool. Thank you for buying this item, which means the transaction was successful. So let me repeat once again. Here, what you're doing is we 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 call for a payment push, and then over here we verify if that payment was approved, and then if the payment was approved, it brings the status of success. So if it was successful, we update this user and we add some data. We add this user into a database and we grant access to this item. So we return thank you for buying this item, else cannot buy this item. Yeah, so yeah. All right, so verify and check transaction status. We are done. We managed to get off this. Checking the account balance from the collections account. So let's see. So I'm going to create another file, and I'm going to name this file. Uh, I'm going to name this file balance. I'm going to say collections balance dot py. collections balance.py. I've never tested checking for collections balance in Sandbox. I've only tested in the production. So let's see if it will work, but I have doubts. Uh, all right. So let's see. We push it. So I'm going. Oh, need to print the response. So print. Uh, check collections balance. So I send the request once again. Okay, it's loading. Sending the request. So, requested resource was not found. Yeah. So, which means we can't check for the balance. We can't check for the balance when we're in Sandbox. And if I can remember so well, even in my production APIs, I'm not able to check the balance. I'm sure it has to do with Mtn. Maybe they removed it. If it failed on collections, then I'm sure it also failed on the disbursement. Yeah, so all right, so now we come to transfer money from MTN disbursement wallet to MTN mobile money account. So with this, we can use this one to transfer money from your MTN disbursement account to a personal MTN phone number. So sorry about my background; it could be a little bit of noisy. So I'm going to create another file. I'm going to say disbursement disbursement uh balance.py. Disbursements balance.py. It's not created. What could be the problem? So this this or maybe let me say this b dot balance.py so that I can save some time. So yeah, so I copy it. So disbursement balance. No, this one is not balance but withdraw. Supposed to rename it withdraw. Oh, sorry, not withdraw, but transfer, transfer, transfer cash. I'm going to say transfer underscore cash. So over here, so these are the parameters I've copied them from this. So here they are. So after this function is used to transfer money from MTN disbursement account to an MTN mobile money account. Here's how it is done. I've already done this. I copied this, and after a successful transfer, it returns 202 or 200. To return the response, you just have to copy this and then this. So here on the amount, let's say I would like to transfer like a 200 currency euro in testing euro, and then the reference I'm going to say yeah 44. Yeah 44, and then the phone number I'm going to type in mine. So 26096879 uh 3843, and then the pair message I'm going to say uh cheers cheers. Sure. So we check the response now. If it's a success, it brings 200 or 202. All right, so I'm sure this one it doesn't work. This one doesn't work in Sandbox either. So unless you're in production. So as for us guys who are in what's this in Sandbox or testing mode, us we can only test for collections, check verification. Yeah, corrections and check verification for now. So we can only do testing of two things from this API. But as for you guys who are in production, you can go around and play with this. But another notice when you're in production before I leave. So what I'd like to talk about once again is you guys if you're in production, yeah, the production it means when all the compliance details are verified and checked by the MTN, and you have they even approve you. So you're going from your partner port, you're going to get the API user and the API collection. So and then what you have to do here on the environment, as for us Zambians, it has to be MTN Zambia. And then let's say you have filled in your collections API user, and then these you maintain them, you get them from your productions account. So yeah, so this is all about the with Momo Python SDK. So you can find it here You can find it here on GitHub. It does almost everything on the mobile money side. So with this, with MTN Momo API Python SDK, whoever wants to contribute can contribute, and this license is for free, which means you can manipulate it, you can do whatever you want with it, and you're not going to be held accountable of anything. So you're free to do anything. Maybe if you want to collaborate with me so that we can improve this SDK, sure, you're ready to ping me. I always leave my contact details yeah, on my contact details. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you invite your friends and you share these videos to whoever would like to watch them, guys. These ideas must be shared. Yeah, so that's all for this tutorial, and thank you once again. Cheers.